Now, here's the MLBbro TV show, the best from MLBbro.com with Rob Parker. Let's go.
Welcome to the weekend. There were so many great stories on MLBbro.com this past week. In case you missed some, we'll take a look back. Let's start here. On Take That, Brandon Carr dives into Googate.
Cheating in baseball has been around since the game's infancy, as players are always looking to gain an edge. Just like MLBbro George Springer and his Houston Astros trash can buddies. Just like Jackie Bradley Jr. and his Boston Red Sox who are using Apple Watches. Plus, the way today's pitchers train with their biomechanics, with the addition of the sticky stuff, which will help their velocity on their upper 90s fastball, or the spin rate on their hellacious breaking ball, provides an unfair advantage for the hitter. The Colorado Rockies used a TV, a massage gun, and a metal bench to steal signs. We literally had Barry Bonds change from a pirate to a giant. Now, I understand that pitchers brought all this stuff upon themselves, but what I saw this week should only be viewed with the sound off. Moments ago, 4 Chicago Cub pitchers just threw a combined no-hitter to shut out the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like, you can't make this up. To stop all of this nonsense moving forward, I got a solution. Just work up a sweat. Use your saliva. But I know, what about when it's cold outside and we can't gather up a sweat? You know that thing sitting behind you on the pitcher's mound? It's called a rising bag. Pedro Martinez, you know, the Hall of Famer? He had an exceptional breakdown about using a rising bag to gain grip. Try that.
Undebatable, Orioles center fielder Cedric Mullins joined Mark Gray.
You had to go back down to the minors, remake yourself, and then you come back up. Was that experience more about growing up as a baseball player or as a person?
Baseball has a lot of life lessons built into it. And one of those things that I learned during having to go through being sit back down in the minors was perseverance. Just having the confidence that I knew that I had the ability to play this game. I've been playing for a long time. And in terms of, maturing as a player, it was a matter of going down, reassessing what I was bringing to the table and, kind of going about, some things different. I had a couple of mechanical changes in my swing that, helped significantly. One of those things was dropping switch hitting and focusing on just being a left-handed hitter. And so there was a lot of time and effort put into that during the offseason. And when I came back, I felt pretty prepared to face guys live, and that's very beneficial.
A bro you need to know is slugger Andre Dawson, the Hall of Famer. Andre Dawson, better known as the Hawk. Dawson's career started with the Montreal Expos, and in 1977, he was named the National League Rookie of the Year. When you think of Dawson, you think of that fabulous 1987 season with the Chicago Cubs. He won the National League MVP. He led the National League with home runs. He also led the National League in RBI. And he became the first player ever to win the MVP on a last-place team. In his 21 seasons in the big leagues, Dawson hit 438 home runs. He batted .279 and had almost 2,800 hits. His number 10 was retired by the Montreal Expos. That's why Andre Dawson, the Hawk, is a bro you need to know. Marlins star second baseman Jazz Chisholm was this week's homeboy. This week's homeboy is Miami Marlins second baseman Jazz Chisholm. Chisholm did major damage against the Washington Nationals this weekend in a 4-game set, hitting in all 4 games. On both Saturday and Sunday against the Nationals, Jazz led off the game with a triple. In all 4 games, he batted .417, going 5 for 12 with 4 RBI and 1 home run. Jazz's hot bat helped the Marlins stop a 4-game losing streak and helped the Marlins win back-to-back games against the Nationals. That's why Jazz Chisholm is this week's homeboy. Go to LaTerrain.com, put in the promo code MLBbro, and get $42 off on a Legacy 2. On first to third, David Grubb sides with former pitching ace CC Sabathia about the future of the game.
Former Indians and Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia, and hopefully future Hall of Famer, has been one of the louder voices talking about the unsteady state of the game. And believe me, I understand. The game is more one-dimensional than ever. Double-digit strikeout numbers for pitchers and all-or-nothing approaches by hitters have made the game pretty stagnant. Don't get me wrong. I love a good pitching duel just as much as I enjoy a 9-7 bash fest. But on most days, if you took the logos and off the helmets and jerseys, you can't really tell one team from the next. Baseball has been so concerned about the length of games, it's forgotten the real problem. It's pace. Sabathia correctly points out that fans want to see action, not just strikeouts and home runs. It's a similar problem to what you see going on in the NBA, where players will pass up an open 2 to take a longer, more difficult 3. On an 0-2 count, no one's choking up like Rod Carew or trying to go opposite field like Derek Jeter. Everybody's just swinging from their heels. The triple, once the most exciting play in baseball, is almost extinct. Same for the stolen base. There's no value for most players who can't hit double-digit home runs in a season. Fortunately, there are some players out there breaking those rules set out by certain elements of the analytics crowd that want to eliminate the human dynamic from the game. What draws us to the games we love isn't just the game itself and how it's played. The style of play, the athleticism, and the individuality of the true greats isn't limited to what can be found on a stat sheet. New generations are inspired by seeing themselves on the field, and no sport allows for more types of athletes than baseball.
That's our show for this week. I'm Rob Parker. We'll see you again next weekend. And all week long, check in on MLBbro.com for the best coverage of black and brown major leaguers.